What's happening, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And it has just finished. England won, the Czech Republic 0 at Wembley, and that guarantees Gareth Southgate's side top spot in the group and a date in the last 16 against either France, Germany or Portugal to look forward to. But George, this game against the Czech Republic, a bit of a cliche, a game of two halves, you could say. First half, England started really brightly, lots of energy, directness, Grealish, Saka making things happen. And Jack Grealish, who I've been crying out for, as have a lot of England fans, to be included from the start. Took him 12 minutes to get an assist. And Sterling's there at the back post to nod into an empty goal. Just before we sort of discuss the goal and the impact of Jack Grealish on the side, what were your thoughts on seeing Bukayo Saka included in the lineup? I was, for one, very surprised and quite shocked, frankly, that Jadon Sancho had been overlooked again, considering that Southgate had said the reason why he wasn't playing Sancho was for experience, but then proceeds to play Saka, who's even got less experience than him. I thought that was a little bit strange.
Yeah, the reasoning was strange, and I think all England fans would have been surprised by Saka starting. But, for those doubters of Gareth Southgate, I think it's fair to say that, again, his selection proved people wrong, because I thought Saka was the best player on the pitch tonight. Fantastic going forward, seemed to bring that spark that we've been lacking in the last couple of games. I thought he was really good from start to finish, really. In terms of the other areas that were surprising as well, it was good to see obviously Jack Grealish start, and his impact was obvious. I think I always have my glass kind of half full when it comes to England, particularly in this tournament. That's what I've tried to approach it as. And I think regardless of people saying, the negative things about Gareth Southgate, look, we've qualified top of the group. We've not conceded a goal. We've won 2 of the 3 games. Yes, it's not vintage, but, if we want to go far in this tournament, we can almost consider this as the first step. And therefore, we don't need to be playing vintage football. Again, we came up with a team that, liked to get men behind the ball when we were in possession. It wasn't as if they overcommitted. So, Saka for me, another strange selection, but one that proved to be the right decision, in my opinion.
I mean, just talking on that first half, obviously we had a few chances very early on. Sterling goes through. I felt he should do better there. He should be at least hitting the target, probably scoring. Obviously hits the outside of the post. And then there's a chance, there's a sort of a half chance for Kane, but someone of his quality should probably be scoring that. What were your thoughts on Kane's performance tonight? Other than that shot he had, fairly anonymous, not much offered from him again.
Yeah, it's been a real frustration, hasn't it, Harry Kane? We're all desperate to get him on the score sheet, and I think that's the reason why he probably kept him on the pitch for the entirety of the game. We were speaking just a moment ago, weren't we, about this was probably a perfect opportunity, being as almost a dead rubber scenario where we could have assessed different options in that number 9, but he had the half chance, didn't he, that he created from a lovely ball from Maguire, I think it was. Got it onto his right foot and just lost his footing. Frustrating, really frustrating. He's trying to play him into form. You can see that. But again, look at the positives. We're getting goals from other players. Again, Sterling coming up with the goal. Again, he's had doubters, but he proved again that he's in the right place at the right time. And look, when it comes to Kane, yes, obviously it's frustrating, but we have no other option. So really, he's not going to be dropped. He's going to play, and we just got to hope that when he gets another chance like that in another game, he'll take it.
I have to say, the first half for me was probably the best football that I've seen England play in this tournament so far. But I don't know what happened at half time, mate, but I'm not sure if the manager said something to the team, but we came out and that energy and intensity we had in the first half suddenly disappeared. And that second half was some of the most boring football I think I've ever watched England play. I mean, what do you think happened at half time? What do you think the reasoning is behind the second half ball fest?
I think it's a manager's approach, and every manager's different. So we know that Southgate, being an ex-defender, he's going to have very defensively minded tactics. That's just natural within his instincts, I think. The 4-2-3-1 formation. I think he wants to have a level of consistency and calm in the group, and it was a difficult situation. So again, being on the glass half full side of things, I think he didn't want to overcommit players going forward, trying to kill off the game, because, if we end up doing that and, playing great football, but not putting the ball in the net and Czech Republic get an equaliser, then everyone's all of a sudden going to say, well, why did we overcommit? Now we finished second in the group. It's classic England. But actually, you could look at it as a very professional job, well done, that we've managed to keep a clean sheet in 3 games. Again, not vintage, but okay, we did drop, and the substitutions particularly were quite bizarre given the situation. He could have taken Kane off, given Calvert-Lewin a run out, could have brought Sancho on for a bit longer. Same with Bellingham, instead of playing a kind of unfit Jordan Henderson, and the Stones for Mings was bizarre. But again, maybe it was a planned tactic to see if we can hold out a lead for 20 minutes, which we might come up against when we, if we take like the Croatia game, mate, in, the last World Cup, 1-0 up, can we hold it? We couldn't. Maybe this time we can. I don't know. Personally, I'm an advocate of Gareth Southgate. You know this. I'm probably not with the majority of people, but I think he's clearly got a way that he wants to play for England. It's not for everyone, but at least everyone knows their roles and everyone knows what we want to do. We're not Manchester City. We're England at the end of the day. So we can't, as long as we get the results, does it matter?
Look, obviously, as you said, it's a results-based business. My biggest problem is that his first approach is to always be conservative. It's never rather than thinking, right, 1-0 up, let's get the second goal and kill the game off and the game's done. He would rather, sit on the 1-0, make defensive substitutions, and then just hope we can hold on. And against a certain level of team, yeah, you'll be able to do that because they don't have the quality to, break sides down. But I just can't believe that with all the attacking talent we've got, and, everyone's been saying it, some of the best sort of crop of players, particularly in those forward positions that have come through in a long, long time. Why are we so negative when we play on the pitch? That's my big concern. And another concern, and this must come from the manager because of his kind of conservative outlook, the amount of chances or lack of chances that we're creating and lack of goals we're scoring with all these players on the pitch, Sancho, Saka, Grealish, Foden, Mount, Rashford, Sterling, and then we've got Harry Kane up top, one of the most in-form strikers in the world. He's probably going to move to Manchester City this summer for £100+ million. Yet we score 2 goals in a group stage consisting of Croatia, Czech Republic, and Scotland. That's not good enough for me. With those players, we've got to be playing more exciting football. And just look, don't get me wrong, there's a place for the conservative football. There is, but it's not every game. We did not need to play 2 holding midfielders against a poor Croatia side, 2 holding midfielders against a Scotland team playing their first tournament since France '98. And we did not need to play 2 holders against the Czech Republic. Just do something a little bit different. I'm quite happy for the manager to do something different. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. At least we've tried, and you can always revert back. But this negativity for me, and always looking to be conservative rather than proactive, is just unacceptable in my book. That's just my view on it. I just think it creates for boring football, and it's just a waste of the attacking players we've got.
But listen, there's going to be a lot of people that agree with you and echo what you said. I saw the comments below on your previous video after the Scotland game, and it was very, very against what I've said about being cautious and everything else. But I think in tournament football, it's good. Even if you don't agree with it, I think it's good that the manager has a plan and he wants to stick to it. If that's what he wants to do, then the players have to get on board with it. I think you trial things before the tournament. I think when it comes to the tournament, I don't think that's then a time to be second guessing what you want to do, and going, oh, well, let's change it to a 4-3-3. Oh, let's go 3 at the back. I mean, I think he clearly wants to do the 4-2-3-1. He's not going to change that. And I think regardless of what people have said so far, currently, I know we're going to move on to the last 16 and we're going to play someone of a lot higher caliber. I get that. And, yes, it could go horribly wrong against Portugal or Germany or France. But at the moment, he's got the results. You cannot argue with that. We've won 8 of the last 9 games that we played. He's won 2 out of the 3 in the group. He hasn't conceded a goal. So regardless of what personal preference you have, as a manager of England who has a plan, so far he's executed that. It hasn't been vintage, but we've won the group and it's worked. I don't think people can argue with that.
Yeah, no, look, I think it's fair enough. You know, he's obviously got a clear plan and that's the way he wants to play. And whether you agree with it like you do or think it's totally boring and very negative like I and many others do, the fact of the matter is that, as you said, we've won the 3 group games. We've won the group as we should have done. That's a bare minimum, considering the teams we're up against and the quality of squad we've got. And obviously, as you said, we move on to the last 16 with we're going to play someone of a much higher caliber, probably going to play one of the best sides in the world. And that'll be our first real big test. And we'll have to see whether we come through that. But yeah, those are just myself and George's thoughts on the game tonight. Do let us know in the comments below if you're Southgate in, Southgate out, whether you think England played boring football or not. But it was 3 wins from 3 in the group. And as I said at the start of the video, we move on to France, Portugal, or Germany in the next round, which is going to be a big step up in quality. But as always, guys, make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll catch you in the next one.